Okay, good afternoon or good morning, good evening, whatever time you are watching this orientation video. My name is Celso Batalha and I will be teaching this summer section of Astronomy 10 in Evergreen Valley College. So this whole video will take probably 15 minutes or so, and after that, here are the things you have to do. You have to email me at celso.batalha@ebc.edu, and I'm pretty sure you already received my email answering this question: what do I need to do in order to pass the course? Which means you need to clearly state what are the activities you must do, and since it is a summer section, it's going to be probably you have to work basically every day or every 2 days. You have to do something in Moodle. What do I need to do in order to pass this course? What are the assessments that I have to complete in order to get a grade, and hopefully a passing grade in this course? So first of all, let me show you briefly how the course is organized. The course is organized in the Moodle. Moodle is a course management system, and in order to access Moodle, just follow the instructions I send in the syllabus. But basically, you go to sj.remote.learner.net, and once you go to this place, you have to log in using your username and password. Usernames are given by the first 2 letters of your first name, first 2 letters of your last name, and last 4 digits of your student ID number. And your password, the first time you type a password, it should be change me one, and I write here change me one with a capital C, number 1. And once you do that, the system will ask you to reset your password, which you should do, and please choose a password that you can easily remember. The reason is our final exam is face-to-face, which means you have to meet me in the classroom and do the final exam. Sometimes this final exam is done in Moodle, which means you need to access your course management system and you need to have your password known, otherwise you can't log in there and do your final exam. Every time that I use Moodle for final exam, I have a couple of students that I have to help to reset password, and this is not a big deal, but takes 10 minutes or so of a valuable time. And then you find your course, click on it, and it should be there. The course is divided in topics. Let me show you quickly. So I have the first topic is just general stuff, and I will go over that. But every single following that, every single topic is probably 1 chapter book. And the way summer is organized, chances are you have to work on that chapter in 1 or 2 days, sometimes 3 days, and I'm not including weekend. I'm assuming weekend is sort of a free, but yeah, that's the whole point. So you have a lot of work to do in a short amount of time. So then June 15 and 16, which is Monday and Tuesday, we should be focusing on chapter 1, and then 17, 18, 19 chapter 2, and so on, so on, so on. So every single block gives you 1 chapter with the content of that chapter exposed and developing there. Okay. Now, what's the point of this orientation? I wanted you to be aware of the type of assessments that are available in Moodle for you to complete. You don't need to go anywhere else to do assessments. Of course, you have to have a book, and I will mention and I will talk about the book in a little bit. But all homeworks, all extra credits, everything else is in Moodle. Okay. Syllabus is always there. If you forgot what needs to be done, or if you forgot dates of exams, or if you forgot when final exam is available, just go to syllabus, click on it, and it's gonna pop up. It's right there, and then you have all that information. If there are any changes that I need to do in syllabus in order to keep up with the pace of the course, in order to attend extraordinary changes, sometimes this happen, I will make changes in the syllabus and I will upload the latest version in Moodle. I do recommend a book, and I will be using a book very closely. In fact, the homeworks and some of the extra credits are taken from the book. But if you're still looking for the book, or the book is still on the way and you don't have it yet, I have a free online resource that you can use it. It's not the same. It doesn't have the same content, but it pretty much gets very close to it. It's a book that was written by Professor Chris Impic, and he uploaded and gave us for free, and it's right there, so you can pretty much make use of it. But the book is important. Now, to get your book, the book is Understanding Our Universe, second edition. If you click on this link, it's gonna take you to, it's gonna give you information about the book, and you can purchase that online or in our bookstore. You can also purchase a electronic version of the book, and I have a link in there, and it's right here, and then you can follow the registrations and the payment procedure. I think you have to have a credit card, and then you're done. You don't need to sign up for smart work. I will not be using smart work, so don't worry about it. And orientation is what is happening now. Now, let's go to the point. What are the assessments that you need to do every day in order to pass this course? Required assessments are homeworks, astro discussion, second. Third, midterms. Fourth, final exams. Each one 25% of your course grade. Again, and this is what you must email me saying, hey, to pass this course I have to complete homeworks, 25% of your course grade. Astro discussion, which you should type, you should participate in the discussion group. That is, I will show you what it is. That's 25% of your course grade. Midterms, there are 3, and I show you when they are and how to access them, and they are done online. And the last one is final exam, 25% of your course grade, and the final exam is face-to-face, so we are going to meet on final exam. Okay, you have to be there in the room that I listed in syllabus, carrying a valid identification, so that because most of my students, I don't know who they are. I know their names, and I contact with them sometimes through emails. Most of them I see in chat rooms, but that's it. So let's go to homework. So homeworks are available for each chapter, and it goes like this: chapter 1 homework graded. So once you click, there will come a series of 10 multiple choice questions that you have to complete. Now, these multiple choice questions are, you can attempt as many times as you want up to the due date. And the due date for homeworks is always the following Sunday. In general, it's going to be the following Sunday. But once you start homework, the due date is given. Let me show you again. Let's go down. There you go. Homework. Click on it. And it's not giving me my due date. Oh, that's not good. It doesn't give me the due date. I will fix that. I will write the due date right on the label. I thought it was there. But due dates are always the Sunday following the release of homework, so that you have up to Sunday midnight to complete a homework. Okay. So each section has a homework. Section 2 has homework number 2. And I kind of put them to the right of the other available classwork. See that? It's a little bit to the right because it's graded and is important. And then number 4, I have also homework graded, so on, so on, so on. Now homeworks, once they close, I will only open them again for a second chance very much close in the last week of finals. So the last week of class in July, I forgot July, I think July 20th, I think. Yeah, July 20th. In the last week of class, all homeworks will be open. Only homeworks, because I can use them as a way to help you to remember the course material. So then you can improve your homework grade by doing them again. And homeworks, you can attempt as many times as you want up to the due date, and I will select the highest score of your homework, right? So even if you have achieved the highest score, you can try again. Even if you don't do well, the highest score will be preserved. Okay. This is the first assessment. The second assessment is class discussion, which I'm calling Astro discussion. So Astro discussion is graded, and it's also come with a due date. Now, the Astro discussion is a little bit different. If you click on it, it's going to give you what subject should be discussed. So, for instance, this particular discussion is about astrology. Astrology is a system invented, blah, blah, blah. And then give examples, support your opinion. So I want you to, in this discussion, based on the subject of that chapter, I want you to discuss if astrology, in your opinion, is a science, scientific stuff, or is a religious stuff, or is a mythology, or whatever. And then there will be a discussion going on. And I should be able to see the discussion. So one student already posted a discussion in there. So there you go. And based on the discussion, the quality of your discussed material. I mean, if you put something simple, you know, there's not a lot of a thought and a lot of involvement in there. So the grade is from 0 to 10, right? So 10 is very, very good post. 9 is more or less, and then I scale up to 5 or 4 or something like that. And you can post it again if your post was not that strong. You can post it again, but within the due date. And usually due date is 2 days after the post is officially open, and the post is officially open when the chapter is being discussed. Okay. So there are few so we have 15 chapters or 14 chapter books. There will be 10 or 8 or 10 discussion materials in there. So discussion is 25%. Astro discussion is 25% of your grade. That's the second assessment. Okay, and yes, it has a due date. It's not Sunday. It's about 2 or 3 days after the Astro discussion is officially released. And I will try my best to participate in the discussion. In fact, I want to foment participation of all of you. And ideally, I would like all of you to read what everybody writes, but I know it's going to be a little bit difficult. But you can browse through and select one or two, and you can reply to what somebody says, and I will consider that a discussion, but you have to put something that has substance, not just, yeah, I like that. It's a good, you love it. Yeah, you did very well. Good idea, and you're not saying anything. That's the second one. And the third assessment is midterms, and there are 3, and they are done online. And I will try my best to remind you about it and send you reminder notes about midterms. And once here I have one midterm in there. So midterms are closed. So if I try to open now, I will not be able to open, right? So they are open for 24 hours, and you have 1 hour to complete. Once you start the midterm, you have to complete within the hour. You cannot kind of open, print out your questions, and go get a coffee and come back. So Moodle will zero your attempt. I know there are always problems. I know sometimes the car breaks down or some things happen and you can't finish up, or you're starting your midterm and your kid have some accident and you have to attend and this and that. So I open the midterm again, not with the same questions, but I open again 1 day later, and then you can give a second shot, and I will collect the highest score of the 2 attempts. And the final is final exam. Final exam, the difference between final exam and the rest of the course is that final exam, you must be there in the classroom. It's face-to-face, is a requirement of the district. And you are getting the last section in which only the final exam is face-to-face. Beginning in the fall, all exams are going to be face-to-face. Not only the final exam, but the midterms. So you, in a way, you are lucky that you still can do your final exam, your midterms online. So those are the 4 assessments. You have to email me, and then I will mark you as having completed your orientation, and I will not take your seat and replace by students that might ask to add the class after June 16. Now, if you didn't understand orientation and you need a more in-depth guidance, please come to the face-to-face orientation on June 17, which is a Wednesday at 4 o'clock. You don't need to go there. If you email me, you don't need to go and participate in the face-to-face orientation. But if you need that support, please come by June 17 at 4 p.m. in AD 143, and then I can help you out. And that's going to be the last moment that I will have orientation still going on. And after that, orientation is over and the course is all on the go. Now, I know that sometimes we don't do well in homework, or midterm were not good, and I need some more support. And for that, I have tons of extra credit. So this extra credit, there are several. Of course, I don't expect students to do all of it, but I expect you to do some of it. Some of these extra credits are provided by the book we are using. Some of these extra credits I developed them, and they might be multiple choice. Most of them are multiple choice. Some of them are based on videos. Some of them are based on activities. And extra credit in general, they close on Sunday. So Sunday is a big day where most of activities are closing. And I really recommend that you focus first on homeworks because they close on Sunday, and if you have the time, go after extra credit. Now, extra credit will add to your final grade up to a maximum of 15 points. So if you do all the extra credits perfectly, you're gonna get 15 points. But if you do a little bit here, a little bit there, you can get some points here and there. You might add some points, and this might be important towards the end. Let's say you finish up your course that includes homework, ASO discussion, and midterms and final exam. You got 72 points. This is a C. But if you have 3 points in extra credit, 3 points out of the 15 available, you're going to go to a 75. That's a B. Or you can think of 87 or 86, and you complete 5 points, 1/3 of the available extra credits, and you completed well. Then you can go from B to an A. So extra credits are not mandatory, but I think you should try them, and they help a lot to fixed concepts, especially those extra credits that are based on video. So for instance, I have a video here that explains seasons, and then I have an extra credit that has questions about the video you just watched. So these videos are, let's say, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then you watch the video and then you answer questions. Okay, extra credit I do recommend. With this, my orientation is done, and I will wait for your email, and don't hesitate to contact me with any questions you might have about the course.